When the armistice was finally signed on June the 10th, it was obvious that Israel was the great winner, a triumph mainly due to the Air Force. However, the Israelis had suffered many losses: 785 killed, 2,500 wounded, and 46 aircraft lost. The Arabs had lost 452 aircraft and 500 tanks, 70% of their war machine.
What happened to our neighbors after the 6-10 war, all of them got into a kind of a shock from what an Air Force can do to other Air Forces. And they brought in the missiles from Russia, and that's how the war of attrition started. They wanted to push the missiles to the Suez Canal, and the Israeli Air Force prevented them from going to the Suez Canal.
After the Six-Day War, General de Gaulle suddenly decided to stop any weapons delivery to Israel. The IAF then started negotiations with the United States, and in 1968, the first A4H Skyhawks arrived. As the years went by, other versions of the Skyhawk came into production. The A4N, for example, and its famous camel hump, a bulge that housed new avionics that Israel also retrofitted to its other Skyhawks. The exhaust pipe was also modified, and the aircraft was equipped for electronic warfare. In 1969, Israel received its first F-4 Phantoms. The Phantom was unquestionably the best interceptor of the 60s and had been combat-proven in Vietnam. The IAF had ordered the most advanced versions of the aircraft, the F-4E, equipped with an internal gun and slatted wings. The Phantom came too late to play a decisive role in the war of attrition, but was intensively used during the Yom Kippur conflict. The war of attrition went on for 3 years, but it was more a succession of isolated clashes than an open conflict. The IAF took part in the battle behind the enemy lines, led raids on military and terrorist facilities, and was engaged in some sporadic dogfights. Soviet intervention became more and more obvious. The Soviets trained the Egyptians to handle surface-to-air missiles, and Russian pilots and fighter aircraft were observed in Egypt. On July 30th, 1970, an aerial battle took place between Israeli Mirages and Phantoms and Soviet MiG-21s. At the end of the engagement, 5 MiGs had been shot down without the loss of a single Israeli fighter. Finally, on August 7th, a ceasefire was concluded.
Even with the ground-to-air missile and the Soviets, if you don't know where are you going with your war, you cannot win a war. Air forces that do not operate like one fist to one direction in the same time cannot win.
When France imposed a delivery embargo on Israel, the IAF had just ordered 50 brand new Mirage 5s that were never delivered. However, thanks to the powerful Israeli intelligence service, Israel was able to get the plans of the aircraft and to build it under the name of Nesher. The fitting of the Phantom engine in the modified fuselage of the Mirage gave birth in 1972 to the Kafir C-1. Finally, in 1976, another derivative of the Mirage was produced, the Kafir C-2, which only slightly resembled the French plane. The C-2 was engaged in the Lebanese War, while the Nesher received its battle inoculation during the Yom Kippur War of October 1973.